It was suggested to me that I should do some wrestling content on YouTube. That person knows who they are. So why not just give it a shot? It's probably going to suck. Well, I'm going to give my review on what I reckon was the worst ever WrestleMania. And that was WrestleMania 34. I'm not going to bother saying anything about the pre-match, the pre-show, because I didn't watch. Don't care. I know there's a women's battle royal in there. I'm just looking here. Yeah, there was a women's battle royal. Don't remember who won. I think it was Naomi. Naomi eliminated Bayley to win. There was Cedric Alexander against Mustafa Ali, the Cruiserweight Championship pre-show. Never saw that match. Alexander won that. Don't care. The Andre Great Memorial Battle Royal, whatever happened to that? That was originally going to be an annual event at WrestleMania. How often have we seen it since the first 2 years? I cannot literally remember. That this one here was won by Matt Hardy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. This is when Matt Hardy was Woken Matt, and he was the last one in the ring with Baron Snoozefest Corbin, and the lights go out and suddenly Bray Wyatt shows up and helps Hardy win the match. So yeah, Matt Hardy won that Memorial Battle Royal. I remember I had to watch that because I loved Woken Matt. I prefer Broken. It sounds so much better. What that showed, the way they started off was The Miz versus Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Miz, love him to death. Brilliant mic work. Brilliant heel as a baby, as a champion heel. Fantastic. He can do it all. He can even be the jobber for a while, and then suddenly he can be winning championships, and you can believe it. Brilliant talker. Matches suck. The only good thing about them is when they come to the end, because the ending's usually the only part that's entertaining in the entire match. Finn Balor, what can Finn Balor not do for someone his size? You're not going to see him wrestle like Brock Lesnar because he's not that big, but far out he's good. And Seth Rollins, probably the best wrestler that I've ever seen who bores the absolute hell out of me. I cannot watch a single match of his. There's something about him that just makes me want to fast forward. Doesn't matter what he does, I find that it sucks. He just bores me to tears. Unfortunately, usually at WrestleMania, they start off with a fan pleaser. The good guy tends to win most of the time. So if it was Miz versus, let's say, Seth Rollins, we're all going to know Seth's going to win. If it was Miz versus Finn Balor, we know Finn's going to win. Since it was a triple threat, you knew it was going to be one of them. And yeah, it was just too obvious that they're going to let Seth Rollins win this. Well, if you want to get the crowd happy, get Finn Balor to win it, not him. So there was the one thing so that Mania really started off in a bad way. I'm going to have some of this. I need a drink. Watermelon and mango watermelon. Fantastic. Well, refreshing. That was a nice, horrible start for that show. It only just got worse. It gets worse. You have Charlotte versus Asuka. Why is it this early in the show? I do not know. And who didn't know that Charlotte Flair was winning this match? Who didn't know this was going to happen? Now, I'll tell you what I did not like about that match. The match was great. They're brilliant performers. Charlotte's one of the best in the world. Asuka's one of the best in the world. I hated the fact... let's have a look at what Asuka was back then. Asuka was undefeated. Had that streak. She kept bringing up her streak. So you knew she was losing. Her whole persona was, nobody is ready for Asuka. Let's have a look at her background. She's Japanese. The way how the Japanese would tend to be taught, apparently, how they were taught to be... the way how they trained to become a pro wrestler. They were taught the hard style, to be stiff, and that's how they work. They're tough, they're strong. Now, she's that ass-kicking babyface who's beaten everybody in her path, destroying them all. Nobody is ready for Asuka. Remember that. Nobody's ready for Asuka. Charlotte Flair wins by... What the fuck? Why is Asuka tapping? She's a baby face. Why? As soon as she gets into the figure eight, she's tapping. What the fuck? She's a baby face. She's an ass kicker. Nobody's ready for Asuka. Why is she tapping? That makes no sense. What they should have done to have Asuka lose. Charlotte Flair's going for the figure four. Or the, whatever you want to call it, the figure eight. Asuka rolls her up just like happened to Ric Flair multiple times. Charlotte could have done that. And instead of Charlotte being rolled up into the pin, Charlotte reverses it and rolls up Asuka. And Asuka didn't see that coming, gets pinned. Asuka didn't see it coming. Charlotte was ready for Asuka. Perfect. No, you want to blow out a tap. You want to make her tap instead. Absolutely stupid. They could have actually had this feud going for months and months. It could have led up to Asuka tapping. That could have been the ending of the feud instead of just the one single match. Could you imagine if you could the way how they did with Randy Orton and Christian. Christian was the good guy and lost the title. Then they had another pay-per-view and he lost again. And then he turned heel. You could have done that with Asuka. Asuka could have lost to Charlotte at Mania, as we all know. Then at Backlash could have lost again. Then Asuka turns heel on Charlotte. And that's when Charlotte makes her tap. That would have been fine. It would have made sense, having the heel ass kicker tap in. Yeah, because then Asuka would have become the bully. The badass heel bully. You could have had a tap then. That would have made more sense instead of the babyface ass kicker giving up in a... I don't think she was in it for more than 2 seconds before she tapped. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? So she can dish out the punishment, but she can't take it? She's meant to be tough. You made her look weak. She practically never recovered from that, even after she beat Charlotte after their third encounter. And that was on Raw in front of nobody. Yeah. Well, well done, WWE. You actually buried one of the best women talent they've ever had they've ever actually had in the company. Now, then they go to a fatal four-way, which was Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev, who is now Miro in AEW. Why in the hell? I don't understand why they persist with Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal makes Sheamus look A-grade talent. Jinder is one of the worst competitors, one of the worst talents that I've actually seen in WWE. I don't know if who's worse out of him and Baron Snoozefest Corbin. I do not know. But of course, to have him win it was just horrible. You know what the most popular, most talked about match, the highest ranking classified as the best match in the entire show, was the next one. Kurt Angle and the debut of Ronda Rousey against Shane McMahon and Triple H. Apparently it was the best match in the show. Why am I the only one who hated it? I hated this match. Ronda Rousey, we all know who she is. UFC champion. Biggest draw they ever had. What was it? She had like 8-9 victories before she got knocked out when she came to Australia. She was the world's most dangerous woman on the planet. She was a true badass ass kicker. Okay, we're having the match and Stephanie McMahon's going to be competitive. Let that sink in. Stephanie McMahon was competitive against Ronda Rousey. Why is Stephanie McMahon being competitive against Ronda Rousey? Ronda Rousey will make me tap within 5 seconds. What the fuck? Why is she being competitive? And this was a long match. Long. The best part of the entire match was Rousey going face-to-face in the contest with Triple H. That was great. That was amazing, watching her beating up Triple H and then getting her on her shoulders. That was fantastic. But the rest, why the fuck is Stephanie McMahon being competitive? Stupid. Fucking hell. And then, was it a year later, she's tapping out what was her name back then? Ruby Riott, now Ruby Soho. They tapped her out within, 2 minutes against Ronda Rousey, and Stephanie McMahon lasted way longer. That was just ludicrous. They could have just teased over and over Stephanie constantly running away from Rousey. And then Triple H Triple H is down and out, so is Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle makes a tag to Ronda Rousey, which means Stephanie has to partake, and then Stephanie can get her comeuppance, and that can last like 10, 20 seconds, or milk it for 2 minutes. That would have been fine. That would have been much better than that. I do not like the fact that they actually had Stephanie McMahon being competitive with Ronda Rousey. It just made it just not believable whatsoever, which means the whole match fucking sucked. I did not like it for that reason. The thing with me in wrestling, it's got to be believable. It needs to be believable. That was not believable at all. That was just crap. I was really looking forward to this tag team match, though. They had a three-way with the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers, which were Eric Warren and, his name's Luke Harper, that's it. That match I was really looking forward to because these three teams are amazing. The match was pretty average. I was expecting more than that. The Bludgeon Brothers win the titles, which, it was perfect because they were the new ass-kicking team. Yep, that made sense. But they weren't given much time. Well, you could have given them at least 20 minutes ring time or 15 minutes. I think they only had like 7, 8 minutes. That match could have stolen the show. I don't know why. They gave them no time. That could have been the best match of the night. Could have been the best or one of the best. I don't know, we'll give them only 7 minutes. What the fuck? Now, my favourite wrestler of all time is not one of these guys. It's The Undertaker. The previous year, he had that horrible match with Roman Reigns. Why would you put Roman Reigns in the main event against Taker, have him beat Taker, and keep him as a babyface? If it was Roman Reigns of today, back then, a heel, being up against Taker and beating him there, that would have been fine, would have made sense. But having him as a babyface, trying to get him over the club while making him beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, are you fucking stupid, Vince? Stupid. So they have a John Cena challenge. He's been challenging Undertaker all this time. Taker hasn't shown up since that Mania because the previous Mania, he retired, leaving his trench coat and his hat in the middle of the ring, walks up the ramp, descends down it. Practically the end of his career. He's gone. Off in the ship. Gone away. Okay, that's fine. But now he's being tempted to come back by Cena. He hasn't responded once until this night, and they bring him back. I don't like that they brought him back, but as soon as he came back, I was all giddy and excited. It was awfully short. Cena lost. Made Taker look unstoppable. Please, no more Taker. I loved seeing you beating Cena because I'm not a fan of John Cena. Never had. I did like him as a heel, but as soon as he turned babyface, he just sucked. And for now and then, he was horrible. Shithouse for the rest of the time. But Taker, that match was the only one where I got excited. The rest of them was like, oh, God. No. Why in the hell would you bring him back? Let him retire. Let him... Yeah, if you watch the Undertaker documentary, you'll understand why he came back. He was upset for what happened the year before. So I understand that, but at the same time, please, we're not even thinking about that. You're the only one who is. You don't have to come back, Taker. Please don't come back. If you come back, I'm going to get excited, but I'll still want you out. Then they had Daniel Bryan, after he retired a few years earlier. due to neck issues, but now suddenly he's back. He can actually wrestle. He's got the all clear from his doctors and the WWE. So to have him in a tag match, teaming up with Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Perfect two to actually be in the ring against. Why they got Shane McMahon as his tag team partner, I do not understand. I literally don't get it. That could have been a brilliant match too, but they knocked Daniel Bryan out at the very start, and they're going for, it felt like forever, of just them two beating up Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon's constantly able to get the upper hand, constantly get to come back. I don't get why the hell why they keep doing this. If you're gonna have, oh god, if you're gonna have that sort of start to the match of Daniel Bryan being gone, then why don't you have him team up with an actual active wrestler, or put it the other way around and have Shane McMahon taken out and Daniel Bryan's the only one there, and he then, well, in this actual match, Daniel Bryan came back. He came back, got the tag, cleaned house. So why don't you actually have it where Shane, if you want to do that sort of style, put the roles in reverse. Put Shane someone that gets knocked out, and then Daniel Bryan's having to do it on his own. Then Shane comes back and Bryan makes a tag. Shane is able to withstand what they're doing, but he's still not right. Then tagging Daniel Bryan and he cleans house and wins the match. That would have been fine. It would have been better than having Daniel Bryan knocked out and then suddenly he comes back. And Shane, the problem was Shane McMahon was the one who was getting double teamed by Zayn and Owens. You didn't make Daniel Bryan look good. You made Zayn and Owens look shit. How the hell you could actually bring them back up to making them being a believable threat, not being able to beat, well, I think Shane McMahon was, 45 at the time or something? Who's not an active wrestler. I've probably got his age wrong here. But he's not an active wrestler, and he's able to withstand the onslaught of them two together. You just buried Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who could have been the best tag team in that company. And you just wasted by putting them up against Shane McMahon, having Shane McMahon just been able to be competitive with them. But that's the theme of this show, wasn't it? Having Stephanie McMahon being competitive with Ronda Rousey. You might as well make Shane McMahon be able to be competitive with these two guys. It was just ludicrous. I was not happy with that. Then they had Alexa Bliss defending the title against Nia Jax, who's never been champion. It's Nia Jax, it's Alexa Bliss. They both suck. They horrible. The only good thing with them two, they can both talk. I like it when Nia Jax is a heel and acts like a cocky bitch, because she can actually do it. She's really good at being... she's good at giving that verbal. Yeah, she's completely opposite of me. She can talk, I can't. Alexa Bliss, she can talk, I can't. They both suck in the ring. They're both horrible. I wish I could just fast forward that match, but no, I was watching it live. Silly me, I shouldn't be doing that. Then they actually had AJ Styles defending the title against the Royal Rumble winner, Shinsuke Nakamura. Hell yeah, this is going to be brilliant. I was really shocked. I didn't think it was possible for them to have a boring match, and they did. It was very boring. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I expected this one to be the show stealer. Everyone were. And it was mediocre at best. It was like when Taker lost it against Brock Lesnar, and everyone were just jaw dropped. They were practically the same way with this match. As they were expecting it to be amazing, but it just never was. It was, oh boy. Another one that I didn't like the outcome to. I didn't mind AJ Styles winning the match, but I don't like what they did afterwards, the afterbirth. Shinsuke grabs the title, gets on his knee and hands it to AJ Styles. Okay, he's congratulating him, that's good, but then he gives him a low blow and turns heel. I don't like that. If you want Shinsuke to turn heel, I propose this. I reckon this would have been better. Have Shinsuke Nakamura win the match. AJ Styles gives him the title. Instead, he hands it over to him. They shake hands, they hug. He raises Nakamura's arm up in the air. Then Nakamura looks at the title, then gives AJ Styles a low blow. Could you imagine the crowd, how they would have been jaw smacker? What the hell just happened? And you have the people in the commentary going, that no good son of a bitch. How could you do that? He's showing you respect and you kick him in the balls? How dare you? That would have been perfect. Oh no, let's have him lose and then make him give AJ Styles a low blow. He had no reason to do it. The guy beat him fairly. AJ didn't cheat or anything, so why the hell would you do that? It made no sense. That year, I didn't actually bring this part up. Shinsuke Nakamura, yeah, I did say he won the Royal Rumble, but what now for Asuka? She won the women's first ever Royal Rumble. So both of the winners were Japanese. Both of them had title matches at Mania. Both of them lost. What the fuck is going on there? This is where I say that Vince McMahon is a fucking racist. That's me. I believe he is a literal racist. He doesn't understand, just because Nakamura is Japanese. That's how I saw it. That's like Asuka. He doesn't see it that she's any good because, to me, it's because she's Japanese. That's it. That's my opinion. I just reckon he's a racist like Jim Cornette. Then they actually had they had the Raw Tag Team Champions were Sheamus and Cesaro, named as the Bar, and they defended the titles against Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. He didn't have one. I thought this was awfully weird, where Braun Strowman went in the crowd and grabbed a kid. He brought some 9-10-year-old kid to be his tag team partner, and he beats up Cesaro and Sheamus to win the tag team titles. Great way to bury the tag team division, huh? One man beats up the tag team champs and wins the title, and then we've got a 10-year-old kid as a champion. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, God. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Then they had the main event, which is what they're going to have in Saudi Arabia for, Blood Money 6, that pay-per-view. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. I literally believe that Roman Reigns is winning that match. I think everybody watching this show believe Roman Reigns is winning that match. Brock Lesnar won. Fantastic, but I fucking hated it. And this is why. Brock Lesnar's finishing move is the F5. It took 3 of them to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, 4 years prior. Now, throughout that entire year, Brock Lesnar, every time he hit the F5, it was over. No one kicked out for the entire year. Not one person. Okay, they're saving it. They're going to have WrestleMania. Roman Reigns is going to kick out of an F5. Excellent. He kicked out of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but I think 6 it took to beat him, or 7. It was something ridiculous like that to beat Roman Reigns. That many F5s. What the royal fuck are you doing? The only one who should have ever kicked out of that amount would have been The Undertaker when he was undefeated. Because at least he has that. At least his gimmick's meant to be he's a dead guy you just cannot beat. This is Roman Reigns who's just a human being against the beast who actually stopped The Undertaker. Just ended the Taker's streak. No one kicked out of the F5 all year. He had a match against Samoa Joe, which was absolutely amazing. They're probably the worst pay-per-view name in history. Balls of Fire, or Great Balls of Fire. Horrible, absolutely horrible name. Let's see, he pinned Braun Strowman with that one. Unfortunately, I cannot name anyone else, as I don't remember who else he faced that year. But no, not one single person. Oh, Roman Reigns was one of them who actually got F5 and pinned. Yeah, that's it, in the Fatal 4-Way match. He was facing Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. He is unbelievable. What a great talent. Please go to AEW. Please go there. Why the fuck they had Roman Reigns kick out that many F5s? Ludicrous. Did not like it. That was the end of the show. The show was fucking shit. This is why I hated that WrestleMania. That's why I say it's the worst of all time, because it had all of those problems occur. All of those outcomes that were just, I thought, the worst outcomes you could actually do, they did. That is my first and probably only ever wrestling review. Enjoy.